Now where could that Tommy be? I told him that I'd meet him for lunch over an hour ago. What's wrong? You cut?
No,
You're scratched?
No,
You're hurting?
No, I'm wounded. I'm wounded. Ah.
Hello and welcome to Random Movie Time! Today we are discussing the 1997 film Wounded, directed by Richard Martin, starring Mädchen Amick, sorry if I mispronounced that, François Chau, Greene, and Robert Constanzo. This film follows a married couple who work as park rangers together. They uncover a poacher who is selling bear parts to the Chinese buyers, and when the poacher gets discovered by the rangers, he kills the husband, and the wife gets away with her life. But she decides to go after the poacher to exact revenge. Tommy, what do you say about this movie?
It wasn't very good. First of all, there are some very good things about it. The cinematography was really nice. They made good use of the forests around Vancouver. The camera work was very nice. The editing, when I say editing, I mean the transitions between the shots and all that. I don't mean editing in terms of how they edited it for pace, because it had a very sluggish pace, unfortunately. We were kind of bored. I thought the actors were not bad, but probably the two leads were kind of miscast. The female park ranger and the male detective who ends up helping her out. I don't know. They both kind of seem miscast to me. But they weren't bad. I mean, well, they're good actors, but they weren't bad in the role, is what I mean. Other than, the really nice location work with the camera, the cinematography and all of that, it was quite a sluggish, boring movie, and I can't really recommend it. Some people have compared it a little bit to Predator. It does sort of have that feel in terms of the setup, the way they did the end of it, but yeah, it's just not a joyful romp. It's a bit of a slog, to be honest. What did you think, Shannon?
This movie was really boring. It's tagged as a thriller. It's not thrilling at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad movie overall. I mean, really, I think the only thing that makes it not such a great movie is the script and how slow it was. Everything else was really nice. The cinematography was beautiful. the soundtrack was a bit cheesy. Didn't think the actors were miscast. I thought they did a pretty good job. But we've got I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, Mädchen Amick as the lead actress, who is after the poacher, and she had played Shelley Johnson on Twin Peaks. Actually, Richard Martin is a Canadian director, and a majority of the film is filmed in the mountains and in the forest. There are parts that are filmed in the city, and you can totally tell it's filmed in Vancouver or one of the suburbs like Burnaby or something like that. It's very easily recognizable. But the point I'm trying to make is that Richard Martin, when I watched the film, I was like, man, this feels like a National Film Board of Canada film. Because of the soundtrack. I mean, and the way the nature was filmed and everything like that. The soundtrack was very, I thought it was weird. There was a lot of like pan flute and I don't know. It was really odd. So I really felt like it was an NFB film. And then when I looked up this director, Richard Martin, who hasn't actually done too much, he's more of a photographer apparently than anything. He got his start with the National Film Board of Canada doing documentaries, and it totally makes sense when you see the film. So it is beautiful scenery, and it's a joy to see that. It's gorgeous, but it doesn't fit with the genre of the film, I think. The way it was filmed, and sometimes there were some unnecessary shots in my opinion. Like a few times he put in some slow-mo just for a second or two, and it didn't need to be there. There was no reason for it to be slow-mo. It just looked a bit cheesy. So there was one time when they were shooting, when he made a shot like you could see them running, but the angle was such that you see them running, just their bottom of their boots running. Mm-hmm. And I don't think in this context it worked. It didn't really fit in. You didn't really need that sort of shot in that context. So just a few things I thought were, didn't really necessarily fit with the jive with the film. But yeah, the actors are okay. Greene was in it too. The standby Canadian kind of actor guy. He was most recently in The Last of Us. He was really good in that. Also, François Chau, who played the Chinese buyer for the bear parts, was in it, and I recognized him from The Expanse. He played Julie Mao's father, Mr. Mao. Can't remember his first name. I think it was François in the show. I don't remember. And of course you got Robert Constanzo, who was he was the stick out because he had this thick New York accent, and everybody else almost sound Canadian.
We got nothing from the hotel. No fingerprints, no ID, nothing traceable. This guy's a ghost.
You could tell as soon as we put the movie on. I'm like, oh, this is a Canadian movie. I can tell right away. But then you got Robert Constanzo, who was in Total Recall. He was what's his face's Arnold Schwarzenegger's friend, Harry on the construction site. He had this really thick New York accent. So
you blabbed about Mars, Quaid.
I think there were lots of good things about the film. It just didn't come together. It was really hard to get through. It was only 99 minutes, but it was such a slog. It was so boring.
Felt a lot longer.
Yeah. Really, really boring. And somehow Greene's character, who was an alcoholic cop who wasn't allowed to carry loaded weapons anymore because of his alcoholism. So he had an AK 47 or something in
He
his...
had like an Uzi, and I'm like, what? He had like a million weapons in his closet. That didn't seem to fit with the character either. Like he didn't seem like a gun enthusiast, you know. But I mean, I guess he would have one or two guns since he was a cop. But like, he had this like prepper closet full of like, Uzis and AK-47s and shit. It was like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really, really nuts. And then this Shelley, not Shelley, that's her name in Twin Peaks. Gosh, I can't remember her name in the show.
I don't remember.
Anyway, so
Jules.
Jules, that's right.
Jules.
One really good thing about that was that, you know, they showed that she was not very good with a gun, which, you know, in another movie, like a big Hollywood production or something like that, she'd probably be able to, like, you know, shoot right on target all the time and just be like, boom, 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 right? But in this one, you know, they made it clear that she is not. Obviously she's trained in how to use a gun, but she's not, you know, a superhero with the gun or anything. And actually, there were little bits in the film like that that came through that, you know, hey, this is a little more realistic than, you know, making her out to be like some superhero or something like that. So that was good. So that's all I have to say, really. Cinematography, it was really beautiful. It did feel like an NFB documentary because of the soundtrack and the cinematography. There were some unnecessary shots. Actors were decent. But overall, it was lackluster. So, how many grizzly bears out of 5 do you give this one, Tommy?
1.5.
1.5, yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'll give 1.5 too. As I say, I think the only failing was the script, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, but that was a big failing because
in
a thriller, it all hinges on the script, you know,
and how it's filmed too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was filmed nicely, but it didn't feel like a thriller.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So, there you have it. There you have it. Oh no, we better get out of here. I think the poacher is coming for us.
Oh golly.
We don't want to give our gallbladders to China. Okay, well, I guess we'll see you next time on Random Movie Time.